Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's topic is fall damage, and in this video we will discuss it and cover the most important things you need to know. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Fall damage is one of the worst things that can happen during a match. It does two major things: ends your turn prematurely and damages your worm. The main factor that determines when fall damage occurs is the speed of your worm's descent. The faster you fall, the shorter the distance for fall damage to occur. There are several scenarios where fall damage can happen, and we will cover all of them, along with ways to avoid it. The first and most obvious is by walking off the ledge of the terrain. This is generally the safest bet for descending and covers the maximum distance. The reason is simple: it takes more time to reach fall damage speed, reducing the risk of damaging your worm. Equipping your parachute is always the safest option when you're unsure if the descent is safe or the distance to the ground is too large. Parachutes are cheap to craft, and you should always have one in your arsenal. However, keep in mind that it often activates before reaching fall damage speed, even when you could have landed safely without it. For the sake of this video, we'll assume you don't have one in your arsenal, or you just want to save your tools and resources for later in the match. Typically, walking off the ledge is safe, allowing you to descend comfortably without worrying about fall damage. During a match, you won't have time to make precise measurements, so you'll have to rely on your gut. Knowing the approximate distance your worm can cover without taking damage is the best you can do. Now, let's take a look at the exact measurements for a safe walk off the ledge. As you can see, here are several pillars made of girders that we'll use to determine the height for a safe descent. If we walk off the edge with the first worm, we notice that it suffers fall damage from the particular height. But if you do the same with the second worm from a slightly lower position, it lands safely without taking fall damage. Therefore, it's safe to conclude that fall damage can be avoided from a distance of one large and one small girder. If we apply this knowledge in practice, we can get a clearer picture of whether it's safe to descend or if we should equip the parachute before the descent. While we're here, let's also quickly look at when the parachute will activate while a worm is descending from a safe distance. As we can already assume, jumping with the worm off the ledge will increase fall damage speed and shorten the safe height from which we can descend. However, the difference compared to walking off the ledge is not huge, only a bit more than the length of one horizontal girder. It's roughly one large vertical girder and two horizontal ones. Anything higher will result in fall damage. In practice, this is how it looks. Keep in mind that steep slopes will affect the ascent of your worm and make it slide a bit, depending on the angle of the terrain. Fall damage can also occur when your worm is descending with tools such as a parachute, ninja rope or jetpack. The same rules apply here: you should not cut them too early, or you will suffer fall damage. The parachute is safe to cut once you reach the same height as for jumping off the ledge. The ninja rope is safe to cut once you reach the height for walking off the ledge. The jetpack should not be cut before you reach the height of one large vertical girder. Anything higher and your worm will suffer fall damage. Let's take a moment to note that fall damage for ninja rope can vary significantly. It depends on how fast you're moving, because you can reach high speeds and damage your worm from relatively small heights if descending too fast. The safest approach is to bounce off the wall of the terrain first before detaching. As we mentioned in previous videos, all vehicles have different abilities, and movement is one of them. Worms inside vehicles cannot suffer fall damage, no matter from which height you jump. However, your worm can and will suffer damage if you exit vehicle prematurely. Not all vehicles move at the same speed, so pay attention to the vehicle's speed before exiting. For example, you don't want to exit a helicopter during your retreat if it's moving at full speed, even if you're flying low, as your worm will take full damage. Instead, wait for the vehicle to hit the ground, then exit to avoid damaging your worm and leaving it exposed to an easy attack, or even worse, an easy kill. You've probably seen situations where you damage an enemy worm, watch it fly from a great height, but it doesn't take additional fall damage. Yet, sometimes it does. What's the catch? The catch is a bug. For an enemy worm to take additional fall damage, it must first hit part of the terrain, such as a ceiling, and then fall as far as possible to take more damage, depending on the height of the descent. From what I've seen, some weapons aren't affected by this bug, but most are. Maybe it's by design, or maybe it's just a bug. If someone has a better answer, I would be happy to hear it in the comment section. We all know the bigger the fall, the more damage the worm takes. But how much damage occurs from different heights? Let's find out. Before we continue, let's see why this matters. First, it helps you calculate your movements and avoid exposing your worm to additional damage if they are weak. Secondly, when attacking an enemy worm, you may want to know how much additional damage they'll take from the fall. Lastly, if you plan to attack using teleport, you'll need to calculate whether there is enough room to perform this trick. For those unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, check the link in the description. Before we wrap up this chapter, I want to quickly mention that fall damage can be turned off in custom schemes. If you don't want it in your game, you can disable it under the scheme setting tab. Just go into the game sub-tab and turn it off. I hope this knowledge helps you in your matches and makes movements more precise. If I missed something, let me know in the comment section, and if you have ideas for other explanations videos, write them down as well. Until the next time, Viper out.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.